Hello viewers, welcome to another edition of Afroscandic Guest Spots. My name is Aderonke Adeyemo, and I'm honored to be interviewing a very dignified and famous person. He started as a dishwasher just to be able to get a meal, and today he has so many titles and positions all over the world. He has one of his titles is the Knight of Dannebrog from Queen Margrethe. He is also the ambassador of historical relations to the Middle East. He is also the president and founder of Helnan International Hotels. He is the chairperson of Advisory Board of International Association of University Presidents. And like I said, he has several other positions due to constraints of time. I cannot list them all. Please welcome dignitary Enan Galaly. Please tell our viewers a few things about you, about yourself.
I am a very normal person. I don't want anybody call me clever or that I am something, because I started from nothing, and I feel always I am in the first step on a huge stairs.
And because I was actually reading your story, that was yesterday, and I was impressed because it's not so often you come across foreigners accomplishing as much in a foreign land. And I couldn't believe it that a dishwasher could rise up to be one of the most famous persons in the whole of Denmark, and you're an employer of labor instead of people employing you. You don't often come across foreigners that are this accomplished. A lot of foreigners I know, they do rengoring and they give up their dreams. So I would just like you, sir, to tell us, how did you do it? It's like a miracle.
No, it's not a miracle. This is a dishwasher story. I remember when President Obama have invited me to attend a conference in Washington, D.C. In the government, U.S. government official website. They called me world most famous dishwasher. Dishwasher, it was my story. I started to washing dishes for get a meal, even not for get a salary. Because at that time I eat it from the garbage in the streets. I slept in the telephone boxes in Copenhagen, and therefore my goal was not to get money. My goal to get a meal a day and a bed to sleep on. So this was my start. But of course, because I was a foreigner, I am not sport champion. I'm not looking like a handsome guy that I can marry with a rich girl, and I don't have any education, and I don't have any knowledge of languages. So of course you face discrimination because I'm outsider from the society. And when I have achieved a position as a dishwasher and started to get salary, so I don't want to accept to be second or third or fourth or fifth citizen in this country. So I have to put another goal, and I'm not ambition, but just a new goal. And the new goal was to get as much experience as I can and as much respect as I can, because I cannot get level of studying or examining, because I don't want to read books, and all my life was I am avoided to read books until today, because my practical life, and it is the most important what I live today, what I see today. So I want to get the experience, because the experience will be with me all time, and so I worked double as much as others to get more experience, to achieve new positions. I was very young, yes, but I paid it from my time. Instead of sitting in the cafe and going to nightclubs and spend my time do nothing, I have spent my time to get more experience for free, work it for free, just to get the experience for the position I want to get after the other position I already have.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know what to say, sir, because I'm flawed. Viewers, did you hear what you just said? Is spoken with president of the most important countries in the world. He's met with Obama. So it's not just Denmark famous, you know, it's world famous. I can't believe it that somebody from Africa could be this accomplished. To be sincere, I'm really flawed, and once again, I'm humbled to, you know, to be having this interview with you. And sir, based on everything you've just shared now, can you just like can you say something to motivate other Africans? Because Africans normally, when in the Western world, we don't get to be celebrated. You know, they always think about the negatives happening in our continent. So please, what can you say to motivate other Africans to think like you? Because you said when you came to Denmark, you didn't want to be treated like a third, on second, on fourth citizen. You wanted to be the same, and that was your motivating factor. So please, sir, just talk to other fellow African brothers and sisters listening to your story now.
I would like to say to you that everybody can do more than I done in my life. I already was in the 20s, and the newspaper have wrote about me in the first page in the newspapers, in the media, in the television. It was only few channels at that time, and in the radio, and I paid my price from my time. I have not made long-term planning. I have made short-term planning. And I have paid from my time. And everybody, I think, is much more much more qualifications than I have. Because I have even don't speak languages. I remember I have gone to the movie in the cinema to hear the English language and to read how it is translated in the Danish language, so I can learn both languages in the same times. I have not been in the schools. I have not been got social help. I have not tried to also live in the to live in the community of the foreigners as a groups. What we see now, that is in whole Europe and all the Western countries, it is these African groups is here, other maybe from other countries is here, other third countries here, for South Americans here. I came to a country because I would like to learn and to see and to respect the culture they have and the traditions they have, and to develop them. Not only I be developed by them. So I learn something and try to develop it. Our problem that is some people would like to live in the same culture, tradition, and way of life, and they want to change the country we came to. If anybody tell that I am a symbol for integration, that is, I have been adopt the other cultures and the other traditions, I will say, no, you are wrong. I have kept my culture, I kept my religion, I kept my tradition, I kept my name, and I kept my philosophy of life. I born in Egypt, I growing in Egypt, I'm proud of my family, I'm proud of the country I growing, Egypt, I'm proud of my religion, I'm proud from my tradition, and I have not adopted any other traditions or changing myself, like some people think that the people have to change themselves to achieve something. No. The people and the foreigner, as me, have to respect other people like they are. We are not came to here to change the society. We are not came to here to change their beliefs. No, we came to here because our countries have forced us by way of other to leave our own native countries. We left our own native countries because most of it have suffered or suffering from corruption, dictatorism, policy state, military state, using religions or money. And this, all 6 things, it's very, very bad in the environment of any country or to develop any country. If you look in Africa, African countries, the richest countries in the world, and the rich country of the world also for human resources, while they are the poorest people in the world. If we look to Scandinavian countries, we are talking here in Denmark, and look, Sweden and Norway, they are the poorest countries in the natural sources, and the poorest country in also the human sources. You don't have human sources, but they have developed the human source, developed human resources. And the richest people in the world, while they are the country like Denmark, we even don't. We can make agriculture 2 months a year, and you don't have any underground sources. The only strength we have is the human sources development. While the people in Denmark, for example, or in Scandinavia, they are the richest in the world, while the country is the poorest with its resources. And this is the opposite what we have in Africa. It is the richest countries with the poorest people. So how we can learn from Scandinavia to develop the countries or the people in Africa by human development and the human sources development, by systems, by education, by experience, by environment, by democracy, by human rights, by freedom, by so many things. We have left our countries, and we came here to live. I said always, if our countries have gave us 25% of what we enjoy in those countries we live today, not our native countries, we will never have left our countries. Only 25%.
Exactly. Yeah, that's right. And I can feel your passion for Africa, and how would I say? I'm impressed that you're still very passionate about your roots. You've said, despite the fact that your host country, Denmark, welcomed you and gave you a lot of opportunities. You're proud of your tradition, your religion, your country, and you remember where you come from. And sir, do you have any kind of plan to go into politics in the future? Because based on your insight into the African country, problems of corruption, bad dictatorship, bad governments, and all the bad things that are plaguing the continent, from my own point of view, I feel if people as accomplished, a proud African son like yourself, if you can put yourself out there and want to be the president or hold an elected position in your country, I think it will go a long way in righting the wrongs of the dictators, dictators, that have ruled Africa for centuries now. So, sir, my question is, what are your plans? How do you hope to help African continent?
I tell you about politics. I will never be in the politics or in the political. Working in the political. All my life, while I was very young, I used to control some hundred of employees and thousand employees. Sometimes we have had in our group, approx from few years ago, approx 5,000 employees in our group. So how you ask me, I'm used since I was very young to control part of the people as employee, and I will be controlled from millions every hour what I'm doing. So political, never I will be a political person, and I've been asked once, not once, different time in Denmark, that is I will go in the political, but I have always refused because I cannot take that I will be controlled for so many people. So it will be a time for me, it will be waste time, and I cannot even afford to be controlled 1 hour or 1 day. So about the African countries, I have visited many countries in Africa, and I met some president like President Mopeki. I have been with him in Dinar. I have met him several times, and I tell you, I visited many countries. I feel Africa have a huge hope. Today, you have a satellite, you have an internet. So African people today, they see what's happening in the world. They see that things have to be changed. And I feel you don't need to change the governments. No, but the governments can change themselves. So to develop the people, because those people before, from some years ago, they don't know anything about how is the other countries and how is the achievement and how is the democracy, how is the human rights, how is the living standard is in other countries. Today everybody knows it. So we don't need to make revolutions to change government. We have to change ourselves, and the governments also change themselves to develop their countries to the better future and the people to get a better vision and mission.
Okay. So if I understood what you said, you're trying to say that the world is, there's a movement now in the world because of this computer explosion, so people can see on the internet, so they can easily get to see what is going on around the world and use that as a basis of their motivation for a change. And the government can also borrow a leaf from other Western countries that are performing very well. They're treating their citizens very well. They put the interests of their citizens first, providing infrastructures and everything that can help their citizens to be accomplished, to be the kind of people they want in the world. And so you feel you don't really have to, you're not a political person, so you're not interested in politics, and you're making your contribution in your own way. You meet with the president, like you've spoken to, you met with president, and so you reach out in your way, which I also think is quite good. So thank you, sir. Another question I would like to ask you is because I came to Denmark about 6 years ago, and the language here I feel is difficult, but you speak 4 languages. You just don't speak Danish. You speak English, you speak Arabic, and because I read your history,
German.
And German, you were formerly living in Austria, so you speak German. How, and you, even without an education, how did you do that? Because a lot of foreigners, even to speak Danish, it's difficult. It's a difficult language. So how were you able to learn the language, and what were the challenges you faced when you came to Denmark as a result of the language barrier?
My language is street language. I have not learned any language in the school. I have learned it from communication with the people in the streets, or in my working place, or when I hear a movie or see some films. And so everything I learned in my life is not through education. But I have a position, very high position in the education world, because I am sitting as a chairman for the advisory board for International Association of University Presidents worldwide. And this is, our head office is in New York, in United Nations Plaza. And this is the only University President Association around the world. So I'm proud that I have been in such position, and I have achieved so many recognitions around the world, even in the level of the education and higher education, while I have no examen and I have had nothing. The only thing I can provide, it is my experience and the logic, what's happening around us. One thing more, I have not forgotten Egypt, where I came from. We was the first foreign company have activate the tourism industry in Egypt. We have built hotels in destinations like Sharm el-Sheikh. It was the first hotel ever have been built in Sharm el-Sheikh, and it was with the Danish know-how, with the Danish loans, with the Danish money, with the Danish experience, with the Danish management, and this was through my company. At that time, it was only the first 300 rooms in Sharm el-Sheikh. We don't even have water, electricity, or any power, electrical power, or whatever it is, and it was Sahara. Today, Sharm el-Sheikh have been in the international tourist destination map, and today Sharm el-Sheikh can make accommodation for 250,000 tourists a night. So the link between what we learn in Western country and what we can support our native country, it's existing in many fields. I'm not saying only in the hotel industry or tourism industry. No, in many fields. How we can be, as a foreigner, make the bridges from where we came from, because we know the culture, we know the language, we know the traditions, we know the problems, we know the laws, and how we can get benefit from the other countries like Scandinavian or whatever we are where in the world, to make these bridges between culture, between economic sector, between export and import, between management, between so many industries and etc. So we have to use this power we have, because this is a gift from God, that we are related to two cultures, to two countries, and to two different parts of the world. And today, this is an asset. We must not forget it.
Thank you, sir. Another question that is of interest to me is, like, I read from your when you left Egypt, you went to Austria. That was the first destination. And you were in Austria for a few years. And in the process, you learned the German language. But why did you leave Austria for Denmark? Or what made you choose Denmark? Because a lot of foreigners, when they come to Denmark, after a few years, they get frustrated. They say, "Oh, I have to go to UK, I have to go to Canada, I have to go to the US." But you made Denmark your final destination. What is attractive about Denmark? Why Denmark?
I stayed in Austria approximately only 1 year.
Okay, 1 year.
And I sold the newspaper in the streets, and I slept in homeless places in the first part. I have been there the first months I have been there. When I left Egypt while I was nationalist, socialist, brainwashed, political brainwashed, and all those things have confused me, and I have faced also discriminations because I am in the streets. I put the eggs, and I don't have place to cook it, so I want just to get something to eat. I drink it in the street raw, just to get something to eat. People shouted on me and tell me, you are Schweinehund, you drinking egg by this way, but they don't know my life conditions, and therefore I cannot excuse myself. I said I want to leave Austria, because also the ambassador, Egyptian ambassador, he was one of my father's friends. He was very famous revolution man in Egypt. And they asked me to leave, to go back to Egypt, because I was approximately 20 years old, and they know I don't have any income to live, and they want to send me to Egypt, and therefore I decided to leave Austria. But my goal was not Denmark. My goal was, I put a map, and I saw I will go away, and I remembered the Danish and Scandinavian United Nations soldiers. When I was a little boy, they have been there in Egypt to avoid the war between Israel and Egypt. And so I thought can be very nice countries to travel to. I remember how they looked. I cannot say anything to them. I just say hello. And where come from? Denmark. So I remember this word. So I choose Denmark and say, and my plan too, if I will not have any accommodation or any future in Denmark, I will leave to Sweden, and after I will leave to, if not succeed, but just to get my meal and my bed, I will go to Norway, and if not, I will go to Iceland. This was my plan. But I stopped in Denmark because I thought I have been under pressure, and it was huge pressure on my life. But this pressure I have faced, have made me strong, and have made me work, have changed my life. And I think the best day in my life was this day I got visa to Denmark, because as I have been changed, I think hundreds of thousands of people I have or they have been changed by my efforts in different parts of the world, because they believe in a better future, and they believe that everybody can do future, can build their future, can do better life for themselves, for their society, for their native country, for their native countries, and for the countries they immigrated to, if they follow the right steps. And this is, I am proud of that. I would like to tell you, like I have been discriminated before, but few years after, I'm spoiled. Spoiled. I'm spoiled more than many other inhabitants. Many of other people, I am spoiled because people give me much more respect, more than I deserve. And therefore, it's not mean that we have been discriminated in the beginning, that you will continue to be discriminated, but we have to improve ourselves so we get our respect and we get our chances and opportunities that can never, you can never believe that it can be.
So did you hear in viewers, you shouldn't mind being discriminated against when you come to the country. He has also experienced that. But he needed to prove himself so that he could earn his respect, which he did eventually. Like I've told you earlier on, he's a world-renowned, world-known hotelier, and with different recognitions all over the world. Sir, how was it like when you got your title, as I was made to understand, the highest title in the land, from the drone immigrator. You got awarded the title of Knight of Dannebrog. How did you feel? How did you receive the news? How did they break the news to you? How was the experience like? Because I feel that is a very high landmark for somebody to reach, and you did it. It's not every day you come across foreigners with such a title and recognition from the highest person in the land, drone immigrator. So how was it like? How was the experience like?
When I got to know that Her Majesty the Queen Margrethe have made the decision that I get this title, Knight of Dannebrog, I even don't believe myself.
I can just
because I never expect that in a foreign country which I have slept in the streets, in a foreign country which I have eaten from the garbage. And I'm proud to say that many times I have been also invited by the Queen and sitting in her right hands and or in her right side. This something to tell that anybody, doesn't matter where they come from, doesn't matter which religion they have, doesn't matter which color they have, they can achieve the necessary respect, they can achieve the highest level of respect around the world if they work and develop themselves. And, in the same country, few years after I have eating in the street from the garbage, our hotel serving thousands of first-class meals in 4- and 5-star hotels around the world. The same place I have slept in the streets and I cannot find a bed to sleep on, even a sheep bed. So our chain, a few years after, have thousands of beds in the first-class hotels to offer to the guests staying on. So never say never. Never be knocked out because some people discriminate you or some people don't think about you. We discriminate ourselves before others discriminate us because we don't believe in ourselves. And I don't like to say the word success. The word success is giving like happiness and let people like don't have the legs on the foot on the earth. And I don't even believe in world failure because every time I don't reach my goals, it means I have got a new experience will help me to the new goal.
Yeah, which is very true. Finally, sir, can you just give a few words of advice to our viewers though, following this interview? Well, what are the tips you can give them to help them be the persons they dreamt of being when they bought the ticket, left the countries, and said, "Oh, Europe, here I come." So how can you help such people to not give up, to not just limit their lives to doing menial jobs, cleaning, picking bottles in the garbage cans? So what are the advice you can give such?
I think don't make long-term plans. World is changing very fast today. World is changing by internet, by communication, by travel, by situations, by revolutions, by changing of so many things in the world today. So don't make a long-term plan. My plans always, it is approx 1 week ahead. I'm not saying that people have to make 1 week ahead. Maybe they can make 1 month, 1 quarter, but not long-term plans, because the world is changing so much. The second thing is I feel that pay for your time and get your self-confidence. That is very important, because it is a major word. Why? Because don't think that people will believe in you if you are not believing in yourself. One thing more, I think that it's very important that people have vision and mission. A vision, what you have, and mission, what you want to use your mission and what you have got today and not tomorrow.
Okay, sir. Sorry, sir, because I'm actually enjoying my time talking to you. I remember I left out a very important question, so if you don't mind, I would still like to have your company. And because I also read from your history that you have so many hotels all over the world, I would like you to tell our viewers how many hotels do you have, and because they will really be interested in knowing.
I have managed 40 around. I have managed 40 different hotels, 4 and 5 stars hotels around the world. Today we have 16. It can be up and down. In the future, we never know. Once we have employed approximately 5,000 employees around the world. We have built not Scandinavian, but Danish only international hotel chain. And the first step was to be international. It was my native country, Egypt. I think that everybody can do the same, not only the hotel industry, in different fields, if they want. And if they want to be strong and not to be knocked out or knocked down.
Okay, thank you, sir. Our viewers will be interested in knowing the other dignitaries, the other world-famous people you've met with. I know you dine with them on a regular basis, but it's just for you to tell our viewers, the list of presidents. I know you also a friend of Queen Margrethe, and you dine with her often. And so I would just like you to tell our viewers, the essence of you saying it is not to show off. It's just for them to know if we can do it. It means I can, is a way of motivating them that this is a famous dishwasher that rose to be dining with the popular people of the world, the likes of Obama, Queen Margrethe, presidents in Cairo, Mbeki in South Africa. So it's motivating. It helps people. So can you please?
I think that everybody can do the same.
Yeah.
Like I told you, and I think that it's very important. Be proud of yourself. Be proud of your tradition. Be proud of your native country. Be proud of your family. I am saying I'm living with a Danish Western mind and Egyptian, Arabs, Africans, Middle Eastern, Mediterranean heart. Why? Because we have, in those countries where we came from, we have much more feeling, we have much more soul, but to act, I have to use the way of life and the way of work, which it's used in the Western countries, and this was my development. Therefore, I'm saying I'm using the Danish or the Western mind way to work and to develop, but I keep my heart as where we came from.
Yeah. So thank you for giving me the opportunity to get to know you, to talk to you as a person. And I must say that your life history is not is a challenge to me, and if you can't do it, it means I don't have any excuses. And viewers, just like I said, we don't have we are foreigners in Denmark. You know that is okay. Like, based on Mr. Enan Galaly story, you can also do it. So no more excuses. Buckle up your shoes and get ready to work. Fight and get respect in the society like you did, and you can do it. Maybe tomorrow is going to be your turn to get the next night of Dannebrog like he did. So, and cheers once again to